Hey, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Welcome to Story Time with Max and John. I'm John.
And I'm Max. Today we have a really cool episode with our friend Cullen Dedrick. He comes in and talks about his time spent in the military.
He also has a real good take on food.
And some tour stories. So without further ado, Cullen Dedrick.
Enjoy the episode.
We were pissing neon green every day.
That big ball of heat in the sky was too much.
I thought there was a bear.
Reality goes, yeah, fresco. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, everybody.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome to
Story Time.
Story Time.
I mean, I'm a pretty loud motherfucker anyways.
Confirmed. But
Yeah.
We are well aware.
Yeah.
I've seen the video.
Yeah.
Well, earlier I texted John. I was like, Cullen's shotgunning on the Twitter. We're going wild.
I know. I tweeted him earlier. He was like, "Oh, my glasses are giving me a headache." I was like, "Bring this same energy."
Yeah. I just need to go to Target and buy some goggles, dude. I'm
Some
good
rec
to go.
specs?
Yeah. The
Fuck
big
yeah.
ones. I got the nose piece and
Hell
everything. Yeah.
Nice. All right.
So what's up, dude?
How much, man? Thanks for having me on the pod.
Absolutely,
that's what we
man.
call
Thanks
an
for
intro.
coming.
I'm honored to be here.
Listen, we just go right in. We jump in.
Dude,
We're here. What'd you do today, Cullen?
I worked for a few hours, and then I dipped out early to drink beers in my pool. Shotgunned them, went to Target, bought some pool toys, pair of goggles.
Do you remember? I don't know if you really remember it, but I vividly do. When I worked for the Brown Truck Company, and I
You
would.
used to send pictures of the building? Yeah, dude.
It was on my
'Cause
room.
yeah.
So every day I would just be like, "Hey, Cullen."
Yeah.
And I wouldn't tag him.
It was awesome because I wouldn't
That's
I wouldn't
hilarious.
see it right away, but I would see it like a couple hours later.
Why are you here?
Just pictures of the building that I worked in, and I thought it was hilarious, dude. Like it was, I enjoyed it. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Colin.
like
Yeah.
3
Like I wonder
weeks.
what Colin's doing. I was like, oh, like all right, yeah, yeah, dude. Oh, sorry.
Oh, that'll happen.
Yeah. No, that was good.
It was fun.
I was actually trying to think about the first time that I met you, Max. I think it was at a show, and didn't you talk about how Devin was like an alcoholic? Was that you? You're like, oh, you're in Well Kept Things.
I don't remember the first time we actually really met, but I remember one of the first times that we met and talked was at the Well Kept Things final shows at the ballroom, and I had an extra ticket to both nights. And the first night I got someone to get it, and the second night, because I was tweeting at you, tweeting at the band, I'll give it away for free. And I showed up to the ballroom, and you were like, "Dude, we're so bad, we can't even give away a free ticket."
Where's the lie? Like,
and then I think it was either the night before or later that night, you lit up a cigarette from the wrong end.
yeah,
Dude,
I
we've all
do.
been there.
Yeah.
We've all been there, though.
That
I've done that so many
Like,
times.
that's Cullen.
It's I think it was the second night because that was kind of like I don't know. It was
That
like
was a
what
wild night.
we were all pretty like over it. I
Yeah.
guess at the end of the day, but like it was also like sucked because it was like a super fun time. But yeah, dude, I've lit so many cigarettes from
Was
like,
that
the wrong
was
end.
that the farewell shows?
Yeah, at the
So,
ballroom.
want to hear a funny story,
Leopard
Max?
Lounge.
So
I watched Cullen lit 5 cigarettes.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
no, so that it was one of those nights. I don't remember what it was. Either it might have been my anniversary with Jen,
Yeah.
Oh,
and
I know.
she loves Well Kept Things, and she
Right.
loved the one song, like "Getting Ready to."
It's traffic jam.
yeah,
maybe,
Traffic Jam.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember this.
so-
Dude, so embarrassing.
So I'm like, "Yo, Chuck,
Yeah.
would you and Cullen like be willing to just like play it acoustic?" Because they didn't play it. So I was like, "Well, you played acoustic for her." So
'Cause we
they.
had, so going into those last shows, we had like some new stuff that we had written, but like weren't gonna put out because we were
Yeah.
like breaking up or whatever.
Yeah. Right.
So we like subbed out some songs that we didn't really like, and Traffic Jam was one of them.
Yeah.
And then, sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean
So,
to cut you off.
so we go into like the side room, and Chuck grabs his guitar, and
Yeah.
Cullen comes in, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, I have to pull up the lyrics. I don't remember them." So he starts singing, and he doesn't know how the song goes, dude. He literally, Jen's sitting there singing. She's like, I love this so much. And he's like, I'm so sorry. And then he's like, I don't even know how this goes.
Dude, I'm like looking at the lyrics,
your band.
and I was like, I wasn't like blacked out, but I was,
No,
like,
you
pretty
definitely
drunk.
weren't blacked
But I
out.
remember
you were
like
drunk.
being there, like trying to sing the song, and I'm like, dude, I can't even remember like how it goes, and everyone's just like looking at me, and I'm like, I'm like trying, yeah, I'm like, I don't know,
Just doing spoken
I don't
word.
got it,
Dude,
dude.
it was funny.
Yeah, it was pretty.
She still loved it.
embarrassing,
She
yeah.
loved it.
It was like it's funny in hindsight,
Yeah.
but at the time I was like,
I don't know why I'm doing this.
Yeah. Someone called my mom. I'm scared.
I gotta go. I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
I have a quick little funny story about how we met too. You remember that?
Yeah, I think so. I
Yeah.
thought about this today as
So
well. Yeah.
we
The
played,
Mohawk place?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So there was a Pentimento show years ago, not the same one, but it was my old band before I joined the traditional, and it was Anthony's old band,
It was
Young Youth,
Yeah.
and my band Voice of Autumn, and then there was like one or two other bands, and then Pentimento.
It was like late 2011 because it was before I left for the military,
Right.
which was
Oh,
like
okay.
spring of 2012.
So Young Youth, it was their last show. So
Yeah.
they had this shirt that it just said Young and Youth, and it was the red Buffalo Bills logo. It was
So
sick.
sick,
They were
dude.
sick.
So
They were on
sick.
American
That's a tough
Apparel,
one, yeah.
like perfect. Like
was on
felt
American
great.
Apparel. It
such a
wasn't
good
Gildan.
shirt.
It
Yeah.
felt
was
great.
tight.
It felt great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're all wearing them, and like everybody in the band wore them, and we finished our set, and Cullen's like, "Oh, where'd you get that shirt? I really want one." I was like, "You can have this one, but it's disgusting." He's like,
Oh.
"I'll take it." I go, "But you have to put it on." He's like, "Fuck it." So
Bet,
he,
dude.
he takes
Yeah.
the shirt and he puts it on.
Dude, it was
you could
gross.
wring it out.
It was disgusting. Like you could see the sweat like on
Oh, yeah.
like from the
It,
shoulders
like, full,
and chest.
full,
yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
When I
Yeah.
drum, I sweat.
That's
I'm
gross.
a sweaty
It's-
boy.
Dude, when we would play shows, dude, I'd come off and I would be drenched.
Oh,
And,
always
like,
same.
it-
Was
I'm
that-
still that way.
yeah.
That's a Mohawk place.
Yeah.
So there's really bad ventilation
Yes,
too.
yeah.
There's nothing in
Yep,
there.
Yeah, you just
but
breathe
yeah.
in.
So were you
people's-
just shirtless in Mohawk place then?
No, I always bring an extra
Oh,
shirt.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was like after the show. I remember he was
Yeah.
like sitting there, and I'm like, "Dude, that shirt is so sick. Like, do you guys have
Oh.
any more?" And he's like, "No, like this is it. You can have it. You just got to put it on." And I was like,
Okay.
I was obviously messing
Yeah.
with
get a
him.
free shirt.
And
I
he
was like, "All right, sick."
he was like,
dude."
whatever.
Did you
All
put
right.
it on over the shirt? Or did you
No,
take
he
off?
I
took
think
the
I
other
took
shirt
my
off.
shirt off
Oh, so-
and threw that one on, and he's like,
Stuck.
"Yeah, dude, it was gross."
Dude.
And
He's like, ooh, it's cold.
that shirt is sick though, because like not really a lot of people would know
what that is?
like what it is now.
Most people don't even know what that name came from.
Dude, I still
don't
have
know.
I still have that
Wu-Tang Clan.
EP on my phone.
I'm so
somehow.
sorry.
I'm
so sorry.
It's
so
all right. Like it's,
It's not
terrible.
great.
But I lost the shirt somewhere along
Yeah.
the way.
That's funny.
Oh,
Like probably because like like I don't know. It's like
probably just
well,
disintegrated.
it was like either a large or extra large.
It was. I think it was XL. I'm a big boy.
So like
We
when
go
I,
XL.
but like when I like went into the military and I came
Yeah.
home, like you lose like all this weight, so like
Right.
none of your clothes fit. So I think I probably just like got rid of it because it
Yeah.
was like so big,
Yeah,
and I'm just
yeah.
like so mad because now all of that weight that I lost, I've strategically gained back in the last 7 years,
Like,
and then some.
purposely.
Strategic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
It's,
at once
yeah,
over the course
you
of
know.
that was
Listen, Dad bod is in. Okay.
Dad bod's been in. I've
Yeah.
never not. This is it. I go to the gym to look like this. The first time that I saw you, though, we didn't know each other.
Okay.
It was at a Pentimento show at the waiting room, and you had just gotten back from the military. And they were like, "Our friend Cullen's back from the military," and then
Yeah.
I think you crowd surfed.
And
I remember that.
I was with-
you
I
did
was-
do that.
I was
Yeah.
with somebody, and I was like, "I guess he's a big deal."
no, dude, I was just a fucking
Guy's
weirdo.
out here
dude.
saving
Everyone's-
lives
he's
and
like,
shit.
He's back from
No,
the
not
military. And I was
saving
like,
lives.
"Yeah."
Yeah.
And then I was like, "I just saw him drink a beer. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't look like that much."
Yeah, no, I was definitely like 20 at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been, I think, maybe the second like Pentimento holiday show.
Yeah.
the
I
first
think so,
one,
yeah.
the first one was like right after I had gotten to Korea because I watched it at like 3:00 in the morning
Right.
because of like the time difference.
Yeah.
And then the second one I'd gotten home, and like went for that, and I like sang like they like had me like sing like part of a song, but like the friggin' mic cable got unplugged. And I
Yeah.
like didn't realize it for like a couple seconds. So I'm like, oh, what the heck, so I'm like just putting this thing back in or whatever. Yeah, and then I like crowd surfed, and then they like tried to throw me out, but then like they didn't throw me out. They like put me over like in timeout, kind of like over in the side, like the
Shout out
bathroom.
waiting room.
Shout out waiting room. Yeah, which was a sick place, dude.
Yeah,
But
it was
it's
tight.
they
Dude.
like they like didn't really want to throw me out, but they're like, you can't crowd surf. But
But
I'm
it's
like,
like,
dude,
right.
it's the end of the show. Like,
That's-
just let me stand here. And they're like, well, okay.
That's like I saw at one of the Every Time I Die Christmas shows that Code Orange was on. The bassist, while Every Time I Die was on stage, the bassist was just crowd surfing, like front flipping.
Oh,
and
I
coming
remember
back,
that.
front flipping, coming
Yeah.
back, front flipping, coming back. And
I
then
remember
one of the
that.
security guards was like in the back was like, you gotta get the fuck out, you gotta get the fuck. He's like, you didn't just see me on the stage, like you can't
Yeah.
throw me out. I'll come in the other door.
Right.
I'm getting paid to be here. And like Jordan was on the stage, like playing the guitar and like, he's good.
Yeah.
He's good.
That might have been the show that the traditional.
I think
whole
it
thing.
could have been. Yeah.
That was it was the same show that maybe not. All of those waiting room shows kind of like blend together for me because I was basically when I'd gotten home from Korea, I got stationed in New Jersey. In the schedule that
Shout
we
out.
were on, I would have shout out New Jersey. Not
What part of New Jersey?
dude. I don't Joint Base McGuire Dix Lakehurst.
Nice.
So like Browns Mills.
The good part of
Cherry-
Jersey.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. You can't even make left-hand turns, dude.
Dude, that's the only ticket I ever got on tour was in
you
New
try to
Jersey.
make a left-hand
I took
turn?
my freaking GPS told me to,
Those jug handles.
and
dude.
the
that's
cop
nice.
was behind me and throws it on after I
He
turned.
knew. He was like,
Knew.
this
he saw that
idiot.
out-of-state license plate
Yeah,
and was
dude.
like, bread and butter, baby.
I never,
Yeah.
I didn't pay that for like
Bread and
3
butter.
years,
Yeah.
and then one day I was driving through and I was like, I should probably pay that.
Yeah.
John's
So,
not
uh,
allowed in the state of New Jersey.
But like all those shows though for that like time frame all like blend together because the
Sure.
shift that I was on, you would basically have a 3-day weekend every other weekend.
Okay.
So me being like 20, I was like, I'm gonna come home.
Yeah.
Because it's like a 6-hour drive.
And you're making all that cash and you're not
So I
doing
would-
anything
all
to
that
spend it.
cat. No, dude, you don't get
All
like
that GI
so,
Bill,
no,
boy.
so you make a lot. Like you do get like I don't know. It's like not like great money, but like you make money. But there's this thing they called like single soldier syndrome, which is like no
That
kids,
sounds like you need to go to therapy.
no kids. I probably should have. Like no kids, no wife. Like you don't
Oh.
have to pay for lodging because you're living
Yeah.
like on base or whatever. So they pay you on the 1st and the 15th of the month, dude. And like, if you get paid on the 1st, by like the 5th, I have like $5 in my bank account. You just
Jeez,
buy
dude.
dumb stuff and like
Right.
buy like just like you don't go to like the chow hall, which like your food is like paid for already. Like you like order like you go to Wawa like every day.
Yeah,
And, like
yeah.
just dumb stuff like that.
Hold on. You don't go to the chow hall where your food's paid for. And I was thinking, like, oh, he's going to say, like, a restaurant. No, Wawa. The gas
Wawa,
station.
dude.
I
I
go
mean,
to
Wawa is a restaurant,
Wawa,
dude.
dude.
It's like, it's fine. You know, it's like, I have all this money. Where am I going to go?
Wawa.
Dude, you could make $5 last.
When
at
you say
Wawa.
it like that, yeah, like when you say it like that, like yeah, I guess you got a point.
I could go to this restaurant. I could go to this really cool place.
No, Wawa, dude.
We're
it's right
pumping
there,
gas.
man.
We're getting sandwiches.
Dude, you're gonna get
Getting
like
claws.
a chocolate mint
Getting
chip
bear
cookie
claws.
that tastes disgusting or something.
That's the one with the apple pie, like, thing, right?
Dude, they have so much stuff there.
I think they made it. Yeah.
I went to visit my brother last year, and it was like a totally different experience, even from when I was there like 6 years ago, which was a long time ago. I guess,
It's changed so much, man.
It's
It's so different.
yeah.
Times
It's just,
After the
dude,
war, they really,
it's in the words of
they really changed that.
in the words of Waka Flocka, these times they are a changing, right?
Isn't that?
I don't know if that was him.
Nah, that was Bob Dylan. I was just testing. I was just making sure you guys are paying attention. Anyways, long story short,
Anyways,
I can't remember because of traveling back and forth so much in that time period. I can't remember if that show that we were talking about, where I sang those that
was definitely the holiday show.
Was that when Matt Cox hung from the water pipe?
Oh.
And Neo
No, that
came
was-
over the PA
no.
and he's like, "Get off the pipe, asshole."
No, so that was a traditional headliner show. We were leaving
Yeah.
for tour. And
Yeah.
Mountains. So
Right.
I
They,
played
like, all like
Mountains.
Yeah, it's-
I
yeah,
played
yeah.
for Mountains that show.
Right, right.
That was their
Yeah,
farewell
'cause there
show.
was-
And
yeah.
then I played
For,
double
like,
duty.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we played the whole set and there were 2 songs left.
Sorry,
Two
Matt,
songs
if you
left,
see
and then
this.
it was like
Yeah.
they told you not to do it, and then he did it, and we
And
were like,
he-
well,
yeah.
whatever. I
Dude,
don't.
I'll never forget though. He looked like a sloth, just a
Yeah,
straight
yeah,
sloth. No hands, just guitar dangling and like straight arms and legs, just around a water pipe. Dude,
I
on the
remember I was
ceiling.
in
Well, that
the
was the
audience.
sprinklers
Yeah,
system.
yeah,
And the
So
sprinkler
he-
system
yeah.
like wobbled.
Yeah.
And we were like, I remember being
Yeah.
in the audience and everyone just was holding him at that point because they were like, if this fucking rips out,
Yeah.
bad, wet,
Game over,
not good,
son.
Wet.
wet everywhere. A lot of stuff
Water.
that you don't want wet.
Wet.
It's wild, but yeah. No, that because what the waiting room was open 2010, 11 until
It
2007.
I'm going to
I
be
would've
honest. I don't
been-
think it opened till 2013 or 14.
it had to have
Was it
been
third?
no.
I think it was
I was,
had to
still,
have
I was still in Buffalo.
Because if memory serves correctly, the first show there was like a Polar Bear Club show or
It
a
was
fireworks
Polar
show
Bear
or
Club
something,
with Gogo
and they
Bordello.
broke the floor.
Yeah,
No, that wasn't the first show. I worked that
No,
show. It
that's
was
right.
not. That was Streetlight Manifesto.
yeah.
But it was like towards the beginning.
Streetlight was definitely towards the beginning when the floor broke.
It was like probably the first year, but yeah. That
So
wasn't
okay,
the
so
first
then
show.
that would have been because that place it opened. I had never been till I came home from Korea.
Okay,
so that
yeah.
would put it in 2012.
Yeah, so that
I'm
would make
sorry,
sense.
End of 2012, early 2013.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the traditional started in 2012, and that's when
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we
Yep.
basically played most
No,
of
that
our
makes
shows.
sense.
when we
Yeah,
were
because
home.
I was at the Polar Bear Club show with Gogo Bordello,
Yeah.
and then I think like shortly after that was when Penamento and Cedar Kites played there, and then they played at Sound Lab like the next day.
Was
Yeah.
Sound Lab the place that was like in a speakeasy?
Sound Lab was on
It was-
Delaware.
It was like right by Pearl Street Grill or whatever.
Yes, it was like down in a basement.
That was yeah, but
Jake Darling. I don't
It
know
had
if you know,
the black and red
he
checkered flooring.
recently asked me about that place. I'm like, dude, I've never heard of this place before.
Oh, it was
and
awesome.
I like looked it up and stuff, and through like Reddit comments and things, I was able to find it out. But I was never there. But he said it was like in a basement.
yeah, like
Yeah,
Job
so-
for a Cowboy
Like
played
here-
there.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
So you had
But
it actually had a really good like layout.
It was a nice
just a big
vibe.
open room
Yeah.
with a big stage. It was
Dude,
kind of
that's all
sick.
you need.
And it used to
man.
be. It was mostly like a DJ place.
Yeah,
like
it
a
was.
house
It was
music.
for
Yeah.
raves. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Raves
I mean,
with the
you know, a
couple-
basement.
raves with the occasional pop punk show.
Yeah.
I mean,
thrown in.
actually,
It was a
for
nice
a minute
venue,
there,
a little bit of
I
flavor.
saw-
for a minute there were a lot of after
Yeah.
dark shows there.
Yeah, because I mean, it's a good venue. You can sell it out
Yeah.
for like a medium-sized band.
Yeah.
Like I saw Penamento, Allison Weiss, and Cedar Kites there.
Yeah.
That's
like-
that's the show that my buddy had asked me about, and I'm like, I have
Yeah.
no clue what you're talking about.
I think
so.
we played there with Hostage Calm and All Blondes.
All
I went there.
blondes,
I was on that, or I wasn't on, but I went to that show with my buddy Zach, and he was on the guest list, and he was like, "Yeah, I could probably get you a +1." Back when like we didn't really understand how guest lists worked,
Yeah.
so we showed up, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm on the list. Can my buddy come too?" And the door guy just went, "No." He's got to buy a ticket, and I was like, "Okay."
Jeez.
All right.
Okey-dokey.
So you and I have had discussions before, and you didn't tell me the story because we wanted to have you on about this.
Is this the Korea
Military?
story?
Yeah, yeah.
I have
You
so
gotta-
many, dude. Like
you just share whatever you feel comfortable sharing.
dude. I mean, there's
Everything.
not like anything disclaimer for y'all at home.
I have honorable discharge from the U.S.
yes,
military.
100% honorable discharge. Like I never did anything questionable legally. Well, like it's.
You didn't break
okay,
any
well, all
laws.
right. So let's just, I guess, go. So it's like early June, right? Like 2 days before my 20th birthday.
We'll be the judge of that.
20th birthday, right? So for whatever reason, like I
Are
wasn't.
you here or are you there?
I'm in Korea.
Yeah.
I'm in Korea. 20
South.
years old, sad, alone.
South Korea.
South Korea, not North Korea. Sad and alone. All right, just
Yeah.
to set the stage. Not really sad, but and not alone either. But and dude, I'll never forget. It was like 2 days before my birthday, and actually Charlie had sent me the I Can See Mountains houseboat.
Okay.
Like he like Matt had sent it to him, he had sent it to me or whatever, and I'd like listen to it and I was like, wow, like this is so good or whatever. And there's the one song that's like the chorus or like the hook is something about like getting arrested on your birthday or something like that. And I'm like, wow, like
gotta
this is
make
like
this-
really good. I'm like, my birthday. No, I didn't think that. But afterwards I did. So anyways, whatever. So when I was in Korea the entire time I had to work like the night shift.
Yeah.
So I was like a military police, or we call it like security forces.
Yeah, you had like the helmet that said
The
MP on the
beret.
front.
Yeah, no, we were berets.
Whoa.
Dude. Wool berets, baby.
Sorry.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
hot.
I should have
That's
brought
hot.
it. I still have it. I
Do you
could've
still
thrown
have
it
a
on.
uniform?
Yeah, I have all
Yeah.
my stuff.
That's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yo, I mean, I served too. Like I was a dishwasher at Olive Garden for one shift.
Nice, dude.
Thank you for your service.
I still have the hairnet that says Olive Garden across the
Really?
front. Yeah, because it's fucking
Yeah.
sick.
That's his uniform when he went to war. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, the
It's-
amount of plates that I had to
Dude.
wash at Olive Garden.
Get this guy a medal, bro.
my God.
Didn't you make it one day?
One shift.
Okay.
Never got paid.
Yeah, that's yeah. I
That's
still have.
grounds for a lawsuit, if you ask me.
I still
Continue.
It's like what,
It was-
$20 or
it was
something
East
after
Syracuse.
taxes. Yeah.
Guess what happened?
Yeah, but I have like all my stuff. They like give that stuff to you, and then they're like,
It's your stuff.
Like it like touches your. Well,
They're like,
yeah,
he's sweating it.
That's a
we
good
don't
point.
really want
That's a good
this.
point for those of you at home. You don't get this stuff when you go to basic training. They're like, oh, here's like your pay rate or whatever, and then you get paid like half of that your first paycheck.
Oh, because they
Because
charge
they
you for all
charge
of
you
it?
for all of your
oh
uniforms,
my
your
God.
shoes, your boots, literally
God
everything.
bless
Unbelievable.
So you're
America.
like, okay, yeah, right? Like, here you go, dude. Like, thanks for coming out, but we're gonna take half your check for this.
Is that all the time, or do you reach a certain rank where they start giving it to you?
So no, dude. So anytime they like will change, because like recently, like the uniforms that I wore when I was in were called like ABUs. Now they're switching over to like multicam. It's just like a different type of like camouflage pattern.
Sick.
But like when I was in, they were in the process of changing it. Yeah, super sick, dude. But until it got to the point where they like got phased out, like you had to pay to buy like the new things like on your own dime.
And you probably get in trouble if you're wearing the other stuff too, right?
If like, dude, they like change regs and stuff. Recently, actually on Reddit, someone like went into like the military like uniform guidelines like
Yeah.
book, and they found out that there was no regulations mandating the font on like your name tapes.
so you could do Comic Sans.
So
or something?
people did like Comic Sans, dude. They did like medieval Gothic. One did the signs, just like the random symbols.
Wingdings.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So there's like a
That's
whole
hilarious.
thread of like people, and depending on like what job they were, their like chain of command and stuff. Like some people were like, "Yo, like our like my like chain of command like thought it was like super funny." Other dudes were like, "Yo, they made me like change like immediately."
Could you imagine if like you're somewhere else, and an American like military guy comes up to like arrest you?
Yeah,
Can't even
dude.
read his name.
Dude, that would be so. He just has like smiley face, shit
Yeah.
emoji. Like,
What's that mean?
It was
Means it's your
it
bad
was like
day.
a super,
my name's Pat. It's Pat.
It was like a super entertaining thread. Like I thought it was funny, but
Sure.
like traditionally, like military police, to like circle back to like the drinking story. Spoiler alert. They're like super strict because they're like, oh, we have to uphold our standards. Like,
Yeah.
our standards, this and that. Like we're the
the military,
law,
yeah.
blah, or whatever. So it's like, okay, like cool, like whatever. So it was like a couple days before my 20th birthday, and since I worked that night shift, like usually when I was like working, you'd work like 5 days on, 2 days off.
Yeah.
And on the days off, like it's not worth flipping your sleep schedule for like 2 days,
No.
right? Like to stay up during the day, and then the first day you're back, you're like working and like falling asleep or whatever, and like
Yeah.
you're like pinching yourself and snorting pre-workout and things like that to stay awake. I've done it.
You know, as you do.
I've done it. You want to hear your heartbeat in your face? Snort some pre-workout,
Back a little.
Beat in
Yeah.
your face.
dude. Serious.
Knock back a
It's-
little
It's
C4.
gross. And you work with
You wanna hear
you
the
work
little-
with Koreans, so like I snorted the pre-workout, dude, and I'm like sweating, dude, and I'm like you know, like
It's hot.
vibrating. And the Korean APs, because they have to serve before they're 30, 2 years.
Yeah.
So they're like sitting there or whatever, and like they don't want to be there like more than you don't
No.
want to be in
Right, 'cause
Korea,
you're, like,
right? Yeah.
you're-
So we're
yeah.
like sitting there or whatever, and you're like in a guard shack or whatever, dude, and you're like sweating and shaking and like
Is Korea
seeing sound waves and things.
is Korea hot?
Like what do you like? Hot,
Temperature.
like, temperature wise?
Yeah.
Humid.
No,
Worse
are
than
they,
here.
Are they beautiful people? No.
Like worse than here. Worse than here, dude. Humid
Really?
wise. Similar temperature. The winter is more like dry cold.
Because there's mountains and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Were you?
I was like 30 minutes outside of Seoul.
Oh, that's deep.
So
That's
yeah.
in it. That's in the hot zone.
So like, dude, during monsoon season, it's literally like Forrest Gump. Like it'll rain for days and days, and then it just stops, and then the sun comes out, and you like walk outside, and you're just drenched.
That's absurd.
It's just like walking through Jello.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like your just feet are constantly wet. Like
Not-
either from rain or from sweat.
Not
Yeah.
like not really like your feet, but jot this down in your notes. Remind me to tell you about the sweating.
Okay.
and lack thereof. Because I want to finish through this drinking story because it is pretty.
Starting a
fun.
pre-workout, turns out you stop sweating.
Yeah. Things don't go well when you stop sweating.
No. All right, we'll drink it. It's a birthday.
Drink it. So anyway, so from night shift, right? So like your work days, right? Like I'd wake up at like 7 p.m., like go eat dinner, go back to my room, shower, get ready for my day, have to go like arm up and like post out by like 9.
You're just outside. Or you're just sitting in a room.
Yeah. Depending, like you could be
looking
at, like,
for
a
the
guard
enemy, or
check,
like what's
guard
the
check,
point?
checking IDs. You could be at like a we call them like an entry control point at like a flight line, making sure that only authorized people like go to the flight line, like plane mechanics and things
Not
like
us.
pilots, things like that. Yeah.
Hey, Max.
Different stuff. There's like security units, and there's like your
Yeah.
normal just like police units too.
Yeah.
That'll go to like the dorm or like the dorms, the barracks if there's like something that happens or whatever.
Sure.
So, you do that, and then you're up until like 5 a.m. or whatever. You come home, you go to sleep. So on your days off, you don't flip your sleep schedule because it doesn't make
it's
sense
2 days.
for 2 days. So they have this thing called like midnight chow or whatever, which is like the dining hall opens for like 2 hours from like 10 to midnight or whatever.
Snack time.
Snack time, yeah.
Snack time.
Because the base is like basically running 24/7,
Yeah,
right?
yep,
Yeah.
exactly. So I like went to like midnight chow or whatever, like by myself, because like the dudes that were on like my my flight that were off that day that we all had like the same supervisor, like I wasn't really close with. So I was like,
Subtle, John.
crispy. It wasn't, dude. You should have just ripped it. Sloop. Yeah. So I like go to midnight chow or whatever, and I like can distinctly remember, dude, I got an omelet. And like that's really all that I can remember exactly what I got, but I for sure got an omelet. And then I like eat or whatever, dude, and I go back. Yeah, it'll circle around. Don't worry.
No, I just had just marking something for.
Yeah, for sure omelet, dude. So then I go back, and I'm like walking back, dude, and for like whatever reason, call it like divine intervention, the devil. I don't know, dude. Instead
Divine
of like,
intervention.
The devil.
The devil.
the devil.
Unbelievable.
Like whatever you want to believe. Like instead of walking straight to like where I would have turned into the building to go to the elevators because I lived on the 6th floor.
Yeah.
I decided to take a right-hand turn and go to the staircase to just walk up to my room.
Because you just feel like sweating.
Dude, the devil.
The devil.
So I go, and as I'm walking in, they have like a smoke pit for like cigarette smokers and stuff. And some kids that I work with are like out there smoking, and they're like, "Yo, like, what's up?" Blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't really like these guys, but like, whatever. Like, I'll like stop and talk to them. So like, stop and talk to them. They're like, "Yeah, like, we got some like beers and shit like in our room. Like, well, like, come on, dude, like, have a beer or whatever." And I'm like, "No, like, I gotta, like, I'm just gonna like go back, like, or whatever." And somehow like my birthday had like come up in the conversation. They're like, "No, dude, like your birthday's coming up. Like, let's have some beer." So I'm like, "All right, like, whatever." Now, here's what I should have done. You can go. I could have gone
Record
off base,
scratch.
dude.
You're probably wondering how I got into this situation.
Yo, seriously, I literally could have just like went back to my
Freeze
room
frame.
and like drank alone.
Yeah.
I could have went off base and gotten a hotel room and gotten hammered.
Oh,
and
'cause you're
been
allowed to
fine.
leave.
Yeah.
If it's your day off.
Technically, because the Korean War isn't over, the drinking age is still 21 in Korea. But if you go off base and you go, because it's an armistice, a ceasefire, the war is never ended.
But what does that have to do with the drinking age?
So the drink, because it's still like because it.
Hey,
could,
we're not fighting. Also, no beer.
So
Sorry.
any
You're
other
not open.
they call them Oconus bases. So outside of the continental U.S. So England, Germany,
I understand.
Portugal,
I get
anywhere
I
there.
get what that means outside of the U.S.
Sorry, it's just for those of you at home. Who didn't graduate high school, if there are any of you, Charlie. It's the host nation drinking age. So in like England, it's like 18 or whatever, right? But since it's Korea and the war isn't over, and technically Lil Kim could get a hard on and launch a missile anytime, and shit could pop off, they're like readiness, right? So like 21, which like everyone knows, and I knew or whatever. But like I could have taken a cab to Seoul, dude, paid the $30, gotten a hotel room, and just gotten hammered in downtown Seoul by myself or with friends and been fine.
So if I go to Korea today, I mean, I'm above 21.
Yeah.
So if I was 20 and went to Korea, I wouldn't be able to get alcohol.
If you were in the military?
No, all right, yeah. So the country of Korea, the drinking age is not 21.
Not 21.
I got you.
maybe
But because
like
of the
18,
military, because of that
exactly,
stuff.
the military thing
I got
on
you.
base.
I'm
You have
following.
to
You're
be
technically
21.
on
Yeah.
American soil.
That was the connection I was missing.
So that's
Yeah,
what. So like that's
Yes.
what I'm saying. Like I could have like me and my buddy could have just went to like Seoul or Busan
Right,
or
you're out-
literally anywhere.
you're
Yeah,
off,
and just
you're
gotten a
out.
hotel room and like
Yeah.
been fine.
Yeah.
Or just literally went and like drank off base and then came home. But for whatever reason, I like hang out with these dudes that I didn't really like. Like whatever, like we like started drinking, dude, and like I got like pretty hammered. There's some like
drinking?
surprise, especially at 20 or whatever. So like, dude, so we like got like pretty like ripped up, but like not like super crazy. Like I can remember most of the like
Most.
no, I can remember like all the night, other than just like gaps
also,
of
like-
I can't like vividly recall like walking to my room, but
Or
like I
like how
remember
many
getting
donuts
to my
you ate or
room.
something.
Yeah, yeah.
You're also
Yeah,
like
like-
day drinking because it's your
Exactly.
day
Yeah,
off.
because it's the middle of the night. Yeah. So I get like whatever, like everything like whatever. We have like a good ass night, right? And like
Yeah.
I like go back to my room, dude, and fall asleep or whatever. And like the next morning, there's just like banging on my door, and I like wake up and I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, like that's weird because it's like my day off.
Right.
So I like get my door, dude, and it's like my freaking supervisor at the
Ooh.
time.
Not
And
someone
he's
you
like-
want at the door.
Not someone that you want at your door. Yeah, pretty much ever. But he was like a really good dude, and I'm not gonna say his name
don't
or
do that.
anything.
Yeah, definitely don't do that.
But like, dude,
this is
I'll
not the
never
time for name
forget. Like
dropping.
he like opened the door, dude, and he's like, "Hey, were you drinking last night?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah." Like
Okay,
like I'm not
yeah.
gonna
It
like I'm
doesn't
not
seem
gonna
like a
like
place
lie
to
to you
lie.
because like he doesn't care.
Right.
Like it's after him, then it gets to like, and he's like, "Well, someone like filed a complaint or something and said that like you and like these other people were drinking. So I'm supposed to take you down to the squadron to get like breathalyzed. But if I can't find you, I can't take you." And I was like, okay.
Later.
So what I did is I went, because we lived in like quads,
Yeah.
and they had like key pin like door things. But one of my buddies who worked like the day shift, because it's like 9 a.m. or what, it was earlier than that, probably like 7 a.m. lived like 2 quads down.
Yeah.
So I like knew his code. I'm like, oh, I'll just go like chill out in his like quad. In hindsight, again, I should have just beat feet for off base.
Get off
Or
base,
like
dude.
went and just like started running around the track. Like just
To
just
sweat it out.
sweat
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
But I didn't. So I went over there, and then one of the people that we were like partying in their quad was like messaged me on Facebook and was like, "Someone threw up in our sink. Like, we're pissed. Like, you guys need to come and clean it up if you were here yesterday." And I literally, dude, like all I said was like, "Okay." I didn't say anything, like nothing else, just okay. So then like 20 minutes later, dude, my supervisor comes back and he's like, "Yo, like she showed them like this or whatever. Like, I gotta take you down now." And I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, and
you
like I
should've-
said, in hindsight, I should have just fucking
You
left
shouldn't have
my
said
phone in
anything.
my room
Yeah.
and just like dipped. Like, yeah. See
Yeah,
ya.
if they can't find you, they can't find you.
Exactly. So I go down, dude, and there's like all these rules about like, with like breathalyzers, like you have anything in your mouth for like 15 minutes and like no gum or like mints, no water or whatever. So I'm like sitting there or whatever, dude, and I'm like feel like fine, right? Like I'm like a little hungover, but I'm like I'm not drunk. Like I'm not
Yeah.
gonna trip on this thing, right? So I blow, like they unwrap the thing or whatever.
I blow a 0.5.
And they blow this shit. So in the military, to get charged with like underage drinking, you have to blow a .02 or higher. I blew a friggin' .026.
Nice.
So the sergeant that was on duty like looked at it and like showed it to my supervisor and then like looked at it again. And he's like, "Hold on, let's do this one more time."
Yeah.
And like unwrapped like another one, and it was still a .026, and he was like,
Just do some
I
jumping
tried.
"Dude,
Dude,
I
tried to
can't."
help.
Do some
They
jumping
literally
jacks real
tried
quick.
to do everything
yeah.
like for me that they could, and it was like dumb. I knew that, like I knew the rules, dude. I think personally it's a dumb rule. Like
They clearly
you can
think-
take a bullet for your country, but you can't have some freaking beers. Like I think it's pretty dumb.
They
But
clearly
also-
thought it was dumb too. You know what I mean?
It's-
For them to
that's
be
the
like,
thing, but like
if
you know,
I
they
can't
can only
find
do
you, I
so
can't.
much,
Yeah.
and like at what point then does it go back on them for like dereliction of duty of like
Exactly.
not doing
Yeah,
their
like, if
job,
you
and then
blew-
they get tripped up and all this or whatever. But
Yeah.
so that's the story, dude. And then we had to go back and clean the puke.
So
out of
what
someone's
happened to
sink.
you?
So I got what's called an Article 15. So it's non-judicial punishment.
Oh.
So I admitted that like I did it. I had to write like a 7-page paper to like my commander of my unit
It's like I had to.
Like an apology or?
of like why I shouldn't be kicked out of the military.
And then they did it anyways.
Well, he didn't do it, but they did do it.
Uncle Sam did not take kindly.
So I had to do that or whatever, and I like had to, dude. I had to wear like my full dress uniform and like go in, and you have to be like at attention and do like facing
dress
movements
blues
and
and all
shit.
that?
Yeah,
Oh, dude.
and like stand there or whatever. And basically, what they did is they were like, "Hey, like this is going like on your file, which is like a negative indicator, and you're on like 90 days of probation, and you have to work 30 days straight, no days off, 12-hour shifts." Which
Damn.
was like the worst part of the whole thing. But like I did that or whatever, and like everything was fine. And then shortly after, like I left Korea and I got to New Jersey, and like 2 months after I got to my new station, like my then like shift supervisor, we call him like flight chief, was like, "Hey, like I have to talk to you." Like after I like turned my weapons in or whatever,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Oh, all right, like what's up?" Like, and he's like, "Not really sure what happened. Like, you probably got caught drinking or something, but like just so you know, like you're being selected for like this like sequestration process." Which in 2014 the Air Force specifically was like, "We're so overstaffed, we're gonna pretty much kick out 20,000 people."
So if you have anything on your record,
So because I had only been in for like 2.5 years and had that Article 15,
Right, you're just
they
checking
sent my
boxes.
file to like a retention board where they
Yeah.
basically like look at like how many of the same of me are like in my like career field that have been in for this long,
Yeah.
that don't have negative indicator, and they basically are just like, "You're staying in or you're going home," and they were like, "You're out." So that was it, dude. Honorable discharge. They changed my contract, which doesn't make any sense. It was a 6-year contract. They just like rewrote it to 2.5 years. I got my benefits, dude, and I came home.
and now you're a member at the VFW.
And now I am a
within-
member of the VFW.
And
baby.
within days, he was crowd surfing
That's true.
at a Penamento show.
No, that was in between. That was in between Korea and New Jersey. Yeah.
Do you think like it like this isn't really much of a story. This is just a question. But like if you Jesus, brother.
Drop it low.
Do you look back on getting the discharge as a good thing or like a bad thing?
I go back and forth.
Yeah.
I for sure go back and forth because
Because like in a good way, like you got to get out and start doing other stuff.
yeah,
Like selling insurance.
Yeah, I mean, I actually just had this conversation with my girlfriend the other day where I was like talking about this exact thing, and I'm like, I think oftentimes like if I would have like protested that board that they sent my file to and
Yeah.
made like an appeal to like stay in, like you know, like would I have re-enlisted or
Yeah.
like where would I be now? Like
Right.
where, you know, like all this stuff, but like I also have done like pretty like good for myself like since I like moved home. So like I don't know, it's not like living in the past, but I like oftentimes do think about like, and then dude, another thing too, when you're getting out of the military, you have to go talk to like reserve and like National Guard recruiters. And at the time they were offering like $30,000 to like join the New York Air National Guard.
Were you had to pay?
No, they were offering
Like a
me.
signing- Oh,
they were
me-
offering
yeah,
you.
like $30,000.
Like a signing bonus?
Yeah, and
Oh.
I was like, I don't know, I want to go home and smoke weed and play music with my friends. Like,
$30,000 sounds cool.
yeah, 30,000
funny.
or go hang out with your boys. Yeah,
Well, that's their yeah.
yeah.
That's
So it's yeah, I don't know. In hindsight, like it varies from day to day.
How long ago? When would you have gotten out if you'd stayed 6?
My 6 years. So I left for
Was that
basic
recent?
training. I left for basic training Memorial Day weekend of 2012.
How patriotic of you.
Dude, it wasn't by choice. I wanted to stay the summer, but my recruiter was like, "No, you can't," because he knew if I stayed the summer, I wasn't going.
Yeah. That's where they get you.
So yeah, so 2016 or
Can't give him
2012
time to
6, it
regret
would have
it.
been 2018 if I
It's
would
like
have
4
done
years
the
ago.
full 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then like that's if you know if I like you know you re-enlist or you don't re-enlist or you do whatever. But
So you
Oh.
only
anyways, the omelet though.
Yeah, so you
I
so
was
you
the one that
only-
threw up in the sink.
Yeah.
It was the omelet. It wasn't someone. It was me.
It was me.
I threw up. So that's why they had messaged me to go clean it up. Anyways, moving forward.
So the only bases you went to were the one in South Korea and New Jersey?
So I did like basic training and like the security forces like academy was in Lackland Air Force Base, which is San Antonio.
All right.
So I basically went
you
San
went 3
Antonio, Osan, South Korea, and then Joint Base McGuire Dix Lakehurst.
So if you had to power rank the food quality of those 3.
Not the military food for clarification.
No, base food.
Oh, base food?
Yeah.
Dude.
Isn't it just all the same thing?
It might be the same thing, but it's not made the same way.
So it's all shitty.
Yeah, because it's definitely like that. I don't know. I've never seen it, but I imagine it's like it comes in a powder.
I have, so I can show you because one of the girls that I was
I
in,
still cook with it today.
one of the girls that I was in the military with, who is still in the military, is back in Korea now, and they have a mandatory COVID quarantine.
Sure.
So what they do is they have like people run meals to them.
Yeah.
So when she was in COVID quarantine, she took a picture of the meal that they like brought her.
Nice.
And it's like literally like 2 strips of disgusting bacon,
It's like
a dry ass biscuit, and maybe like a sausage link.
That's like Fire Festival food.
Dude,
Yes.
I was literally going to say,
Terrible.
eating just like Firefest.
Yeah. So I would definitely say Korea because working the night shift too, if you're at a gate, someone has to bring your food to you.
Sure.
So you would get that. That would be your food for the night, and there was nothing you could do about it.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't leave. So Korea for sure worst.
Really?
New Jersey would probably be. I would probably say Korea's the worst. Basic training, it's like the only thing that you can eat, and you're expending so many calories every single day that you're just always hungry.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, like
Yeah.
you'll eat it. And then I would probably say New Jersey's the top because you have the option of not like only eating on base, but like being able to like order like food from like off base, like restaurants
DoorDash.
and
Okay.
things. Yeah. Is like way easier to do because you're it's right there.
it's a nurture.
yeah.
It's populated.
Yeah. Yep.
Did you pick up on any Korean?
Shiba. That means fuck.
And that's it, huh?
Shibasaki. No, I used to know a lot more. Like I used to know like because you're like working the gate, so like when like Korean taxi drivers are like coming on and off, like I used to be able to be like, hey, like how's it going? Like have a great day, like stuff like that. But like I've like just like very
You didn't use
basic
it often.
conversational
That's
English.
not coming up in your field
It
of
doesn't
work
come
today?
up in Chickawaga, New York.
Surprisingly not.
Not a lot of
Chica Wakanda.
Jesus.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What about off-base food? I bet Korea was tight.
Dude, Korean fried chicken.
Yeah.
If I've always said this, if a Korean family,
listen to this shit.
if a Korean family would just like pack up shop and come to the U.S.
I think
and
they've
like,
done that.
There's got to be at least one.
well, okay, fine,
I think there's a couple.
dude. I always say like that, like and it's like an exaggeration, but like if a Korean family would like come to like the U.S., like start a fried chicken restaurant and like just like somehow be able to become like KFC level, they could shut down KFC, Popeyes, all these chicken places. Dude, Korean fried chicken is the
insane.
absolute best chicken I've ever had.
Dude, when I was in New York in
A
March,
place just opened up in Amherst. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, let's go.
when I was in New York in March, I was at a brewery, and they had like
Crispy. Like the chicken.
They didn't have food at the, they only have beer and drinks and stuff like that, but they have vendors come in and sell food sometimes. And it was a Korean fried chicken spot.
Dude.
They had kimchi fried chicken. Like kimchi was in the batter.
Yep.
Dude, it was.
I'm not crazy about kimchi.
It takes.
Oh,
I don't
when it's
like
covered
kimchi.
in oil and batter. Oh, brother.
I don't like kimchi that much either because
I put kimchi on
Koreans
everything.
will eat so much of it that like I used to like get into like a cab and I could like smell kimchi.
I'll put kimchi on eggs. I'll put kimchi on sandwiches. I'll put kimchi on everything.
Although I haven't had it in
It's like the
years,
elixir,
so maybe I'll
dude.
give it
It's
another
so
try.
good for you too.
Yeah, something about Korean fried chicken though, dude. They
It's
take
so
like
good.
2 days to like bread it and shit like that, and then they like make it, dude. It's so good. But there is a
They
place
leave it
that
out
opened
in the
Amherst
sun
we
and
should
they-
go to.
They leave it out in the sun and it cooks overnight.
Genuinely, John, it is the best fried. Like
Dude,
I've had
so
a lot
good.
of fried. I've had a lot of fried chicken in my life. Korean fried chicken is top tier.
Yeah.
It is absolutely mind blowing.
I'll have to go there sometime.
One time,
the chicken.
unrelated, but a funny story that I always think about when people are like, "How was like the Korean food?" Is one time me and my buddy on our day off, we just like went for like lunch and we were like wandering around and we found like a Mexican restaurant, and it literally said like on the sign, like made by authentic Mexicans,
Nice.
and we were like,
What?
"All right, like let's go see."
Yeah.
Not one Hispanic person in there at all.
Love that.
All Korean.
Well, that's fucking. I was in. When
The
I
food was good, but like I'm like, come on, like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
like,
that's funny.
I was in Dublin, and when I was traveling, the first time I went, I would use Tinder to find places to eat. I would like put in my bio like traveling, send me recommendations.
I don't think that's how that works.
No,
dog.
it did. Well, I knew I wasn't gonna get a date, so
All right, fair.
if I can get a food rec out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
But this one chick, we were talking for a bit, and I was like, "Do you have any food recs? Like, I leave tomorrow, and you're out of or whatever, whatever the situation was." She's probably lying, but she was like, "Yeah, check out this restaurant up in this place in Dublin." I was like, "Okay," and I went, and I was sitting there, and I got a Guinness because
You're in Ireland.
but I was like looking at the menu, and I was like, wait, there's a lot of just like burgers and hot dogs and and I was like, and I looked around, and I was like, there was like Harley gear, Yankees gear.
You're in like an American
She sent
bar.
me to an American restaurant.
That's
bar,
hilarious.
yeah.
I stayed, but
I
I'm not
just
gonna
really
get up.
wanted a glizzy, dude.
I just wanted a burger. Yeah. Sweating?
Oh, dude,
If you
sweating.
could,
Yeah.
elaborate on that one?
So in Korea, right? So because once again, like the war isn't over. Like it's an armistice. Always ready, defend the base. That was our motto.
That's wild.
Metal Tigers, shout out. They would do every quarter when I was there. So every 3 months they would do like a readiness exercise, which is basically like war games. So for like a week, dude, like the entire base shuts down. Like you can't go to the chow hall, you can't go to the grocery store. You literally go like post out to your like concrete bunker for like 12 hours, and then you like go home to your room. Like that's it. It's like simulated war, and there's like bad guys like that are like dressed up, and they like try to like attack the base, and you have to like fight them or whatever.
It's all the dudes with Article 15. Just
Yeah. No, because I never got to be the bad guy.
they put a target's
I was
paintball.
just sitting there staring at a golf course all night long, waiting, because they never attacked the command. I was always stationed right outside the command post.
Yeah.
And they would never attack the command post until the last night. So it's basically 5 nights of just standing there, staring at a golf course through night vision goggles, which is not fun, waiting for these jabronis to come like running at you, right? And then you have some fun because you have like a blank, like they put like a cap on the end of your
shoot
gun,
them.
basically, and then it's just like powder charges.
So you're
like,
just
in the rounds.
expending ammo.
So, dude, so you get, so I used to
That's why
get
my taxes are
I used
so
to get
high.
a like a 240 like machine gun, dude. So you just put that thing and be like, brrr, dude, so much fun. But it did not negate the fact that you had to stand outside like for 5 nights.
5 days. Yeah.
But they simulate chemical warfare too. So once there's a chemical attack,
God.
dude, you got to put on your
the
whole
whole
chemical
hazmat and
suit.
everything.
dude, with the mask on and like everything. So the reason I was talking about sweating, dude, is because when you're doing those exercises in the middle of the summer, if you stop sweating, you're
gonna have a heat stroke and you're gonna die.
You're too late.
Yeah.
It's already done. Like you got to tell someone, because if you stop sweating, there were times where I would drink like 20 canteens of water in a night.
How big is a canteen? Liter? No.
I don't know. It's canteen,
Probably a
you
quart.
know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not huge, but like 20, like dude,
20's
just
a lot.
chugging water,
Yeah.
piss maybe once or twice in a 12-hour window, dude, and be like barely sweating. Cause when it like once they escalate you to like X level, you have to keep the suit on. But you don't just, and then like when like the gas is coming, you like put the mask on, you like put your hood up and you tighten everything on.
And you can't drink anymore. Dude,
Right.
I
well,
love
no,
that.
you have a straw. But the straw adapter is always broken in your gas mask. So you'll be like, oh, drink some water, and then you're just sucking air.
pouring
Yeah.
down your chin.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. But yeah, once you stop sweating from there were times where I, like I said, in the 12-hour window, I took a piss twice, and I was like barely like had like a light sweat when you should just be like
that's
just
pouring.
pouring
Yeah.
sweat.
You didn't have anything in there.
There's nothing in, and like I said, like there were dudes that would like fall out and be excused from like the rest of like the exercise because they were so
They're
dehydrated.
about to die.
Yeah, because
they
they were
were
too
on
busy
death's door.
sleeping in their bunker, not drinking water.
What
Scumbags.
idiots.
Scumbags.
That's like because
I
I
slept
that was like in,
sometimes.
I didn't sweat so much.
well that was like in Sevilla for like 4 days. It was 115. It's not humid
Yeah.
though, but it's just hot. And I would drink, I would drink like 6 liters of water a day. And then it was like during the day I was fine, but I would wake up, just your entire
Yeah.
mouth and throat. You're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and you go to the bathroom, you're like,
That's how. Yeah.
dark.
And that's how.
Whoa.
That's how like San Antonio during basic training, because I was there from May to the end of July. Is they would do what's called like black. They have like different colored flags for how hot it gets.
Yeah.
And like once it reaches like 98, it's like black flag. It'd be black flagged
Fix
at like
me.
9
my
a.m.
hand.
Shout out Black Flag.
So then they'd be like, oh, no physical activity outside. We're gonna take you guys inside though to the air conditioning.
No physical
Like,
activity
oh,
outside.
you see this corner of this sheet that's like messed up? Okay, everyone gets to do push-ups now. Go ahead, like let's see it. And then they would, if there was like a little thing, instead of just being like, hey, fix this corner, they would just flip the entire mattress.
Oh my god.
Just because they can.
And not just theirs.
Dude, nothing about the
They
military
would
sounds
flip
fun.
everyone's mattresses. Dude,
don't-
I had, when we got to basic training,
Why did you do it?
okay, so this is a
They
good
offered me $20.
perfect,
Like,
perfect segue. I got a $2,000 signing bonus, dude.
Ooh, you could have got 30, bro. What were you
I
thinking?
messed up. I want to smoke weed with my friend.
30.
When I got to basic training the first night, I got there late, a day late because our flight had gotten postponed because of weather, which of course when we got there was our fault.
Well, you clearly caused the weather.
Well, right, the drill sergeant, like, it's your fault. Oh, you think you can get here late to basic training and nothing's going to happen? Like, cool. Like, whatever. So I just remember getting there, dude, at 10 o'clock at night, and, like, you shower and you, like, have to shave and, like, you're getting screamed at from, like, everywhere or whatever. I'm just, like, laying in bed, dude, and I just remember staring at the ceiling being like, why did I ever fucking think this was a good idea?
Yeah.
Because you didn't know, man.
Dude, ever. And you, like, have to call your parents, and they literally give you a card that says, hello, like, fill in the blank. Hello, mom and dad. I have made it to basic training like safely. Here is my, and if you go off of the card, they'll like literally take your phone and like shut it off.
That's so crazy,
Yeah.
dude.
So they did, yeah, dude. Dude, I just remember laying there and I'm like, I don't know why I ever thought just
This is a
straight,
lot.
just like staring at my like 1 o'clock in the morning, like being like on the not like on the verge of tears, but being like, what why? Like, why? Why did I ever think this was a good idea, dude?
This is a lot different from
Yeah.
Arcade New York.
So like 3 or 4
This
days.
is nothing like
so,
Call of Duty.
So yeah. This is not like the video my recruiter
No one
showed
called me
me.
an
like,
asshole or a
when do I start jumping out of the helicopters?
Where's my shiny gold M16?
Yeah, dude. Like, what is this? Like 2 days later though, so you have like 2 giant like rooms of like bunk beds, and then there's like a classroom portion, right? Like everyone's leaving or whatever, and this poor kid, dude. I'm not gonna say his name.
Don't say his name.
Don't say his name.
Unless.
He's never gonna see it, dude. It doesn't matter though. But this poor kid from like Idaho or
What does
like
it rhyme with?
Illinois or something. Shmaleb Shmoosh. Dude, he's like the last kid to come out of. He's like the last kid to come out of like the bunk like bay.
Yeah.
He didn't turn the light off.
Oh, what a dick.
Dude, our drill sergeant made him stand there and yell at the light switch to turn itself off for like 10 minutes. The dude was in like tears. Light switch, turn off. Turn off light switch.
Dude.
Yo, but you
That
know
is
what?
like mental
But you want to
warfare,
know,
dude.
yo, but that's the whole point of
never
basic
forgot.
training. You know who never forgot to turn the light
That
off?
dude.
Literally all
Shmaleb
of us.
Shmoosh.
No,
Shmaleb Shmoosh.
literally all 60 of us, dude. No one ever forgot
Yeah.
to turn the light off because
Dude.
that's the whole point of it. It's a sociology a sociology thing where it's a total institute.
Right.
They're gonna break you down.
So that
dude, I
everybody
stand
learns
in
from
the
your
corner of
mistakes.
shame one time. Because I like said something and my drill sergeant was like, get in the corner of shame. And I literally had to go stand in the corner for like
Yeah,
5 minutes.
You're
Like-
your
Yeah,
platoon
they like
or
break
whatever.
you. They just break you all the way down, and then they're
learn
like,
from
"Hey,
your
here you
mistakes.
go." Yeah, yep. And then, dude, by week 4, you're like, "Wow, like this isn't so bad."
See, I would
you have
never
no
last.
other thoughts.
Yeah.
I would never last because I love learning from making my own mistakes.
Yeah, no,
I would never last because it just would not go
Yeah.
well. I just wouldn't.
Light
I'm not good at following in line.
Light switch, turn off.
I'm not good at that kind of thing.
Light
I would if I had to yell at the light switch,
There's
I would
some
just.
things, there's some things that just stick with you, dude, and just watching him be like,
Well, that's like fucking.
light switch, turn off. And then he would change it, though. Turn off light switch. Shut off. Like, dude. Our drill sergeant just stood there staring at
Did he
dude.
ever say please?
I don't remember, dude. But I just
Please
remember.
turn off.
I just
How does
remember
that
light
end?
switch, turn off. He had just like finally, he just like the drill sergeant just like turned it off, and that was it,
What a twat.
dude. That's it.
I feel
One
bad
time,
for Shmela.
dude. A girl was like
So bad.
choking on her
Shmela
food in the
needs-
dining hall.
Shmela, if you're listening, betterhelp.com/storytime. Get you fucking 15% off. Send me the bill. I'll pay for it, but because you need to talk to somebody
there
if
was-
you're
there
not
was a-
already talking to
There
them.
was a girl the one time like choking on a turkey enchilada in the dining hall, and the drill sergeant literally like
Turkey
gave her like
Heimlich?
Heimlich, and like coughed it up around her. He's like, "Are you all right?" And she's like, "Yeah," or whatever. And she like sits back down, and he like just like walks away, and then comes back, and he's like, "I just saved your life, and you didn't even say thank you. That's kind of messed up." And then walked away, dude. The same dude.
Dude, she was probably just like, oh my God.
The same dude like would come over and he would like put dessert. You weren't allowed to take like dessert. Like there were like cake in the cabinets. They'd like put it down, and then he would like just like put it down in the middle of the table.
See,
Four
that's I would
dudes.
lose.
And we would all just like you would stop eating and you'd be like looking at each other, and he'd be like, "I thought you guys might want some cake," and then just walk away, dude. Like, and then if you take it, you just get lit up, like.
Good.
Dude,
Yeah, dude.
that's
He
so
would like
messed
come up
up.
and sing to you like while you were eating, dude.
I feel like
He was good though. He was like the best drill sergeant
Yeah,
that
was
we had the entire time.
Yeah, you probably respect
He was just like goofball.
You
like
respect
in
the hell out of that
hindsight,
dude, don't you?
100%. Yeah.
I don't know. It just
He was
also-
not the same guy as the light
It
switch
just
guy.
seems like it's.
dude. The light switch guy is
switch
so
turn
funny.
off.
That dude needs to be a comedian.
No, he needs to.
Dude, he was
needs to go to
mean,
therapy.
bro.
I believe it, man.
He had
That's
these
crazy.
big buggy eyes.
That is
Sometimes,
unbelievable.
'Cause he
sometimes
was
if I
staring at
need
a light
to,
switch for 10
sometimes
minutes.
still to this day, if I need to keep composure, I will literally envision his face because he used to scream at
Oh,
me, dude.
dude.
And I will envision his face, and dude, if I'm about to lose, it's like right back.
Would people laugh when he'd scream in their face?
No,
No.
not him.
No.
No.
I
dude.
feel like I would.
Yeah.
Dude, he was.
I
a
just I
big-
can't take you
seriously.
serious, dude. If you're screaming in my face,
I'll show
I
you a
can't take you
picture.
serious.
I'll show you a picture of this guy.
But that's like
We'll post it.
we'll blur out his eyes.
Sup, Tech Sergeant Rodriguez.
No, but that's like fucking in like Full Metal Jacket when it's like you're so gay, you're so, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like I could not sit there and listen to that. But did you have to do like the rifle song or is that different?
No, we didn't have to do anything like that. We had to learn like the Air Force song, like the Airman's Creed and things like that. But like we're like that's more like the like infantrymen and like the Marine and like the Army. Like this is my rifle.
Yeah.
There are many like it. Nah, dude.
You're like, this is my plane.
I tried-
I'm never
dude,
gonna fly it.
Make sure it doesn't roll away. Like literally.
This is my beer. You don't see this.
yeah.
This is my omelet. There it is.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, the old omelet story.
That's great. Any tour stories? I know you guys definitely took the big old shit red van.
Shout out Head North.
Yeah, dude, that shitty van, dude. It was like fine for like what we were doing.
Yeah, it wasn't when we used it.
It was so today is the anniversary of that first show on that tour because my time hop was full of.
Nice.
Apparently, there were people like making out during our set.
That's hot.
I saw that.
That weren't like watching the show, which I don't really remember.
Where was it?
It was in Mahal's in Cleveland in the basement.
Shout out
Not the
Cleveland.
main room
No.
in the basement.
Dude, you're talking like we know what you're talking about. I love that.
I know Mahal's.
I don't know Mahal's.
Oh,
I know.
there's
know
like
the
a
name.
bowling alley in the basement. I don't know. It's like a venue. It was a pretty cool spot.
Was it just you guys or who you were out with?
It
Who
was
you were
just
out
us.
with?
It was just a small run. It was 4 days. And we played Cleveland,
Is
and
that
then we
when-
played the Pizza Dungeon in Columbus. Shout out John Roush, one of the coolest dudes I've ever met. And then we played somewhere in Michigan where the people didn't like us because Christian made like a joke about Helga Pataki from Hey Arnold, and they thought we were like sexist.
He has
He
has Hey
literally
Arnold tattoos
he
on his
literally,
body.
Yeah. And then
He's like
and then
the
last
biggest
night,
fan.
So the last night though we played in Chicago, Illinois to like my cousin, her boyfriend at the time, and then the other bands, and they were like, "Oh, sorry, there's another show going on we're not gonna make expenses, but you can have this like beer, and that's how like Tiger beer became a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, he literally like that show in Michigan, like we like got up, dude, and everyone's like doing their shit, right? And like I recently Pat McAndrew, I was like talking to him, we were like having a conversation or something, and he said something, and I was like, well, look, I'm a musician too. He's like, nah, dog, you're not a musician. You're a singer. And I was like,
Whoa.
fuck. No,
True.
he's right.
True. 100%
I literally show up and sing.
Yeah.
100%
That's
true.
about it.
He can barely do that.
Yeah, yeah. Ask Jen, dude. Yeah, she's. So we got to like this show or whatever, dude, and like they were like, oh, you guys are in the band, like you can get like 4 free pictures or whatever, and I'm like, okay, like whatever. Like I'd had like a rough night, and like. Like it's hard to like be like going super hard and like sing, right?
Yeah,
and like not
feel
sleeping well and things like that. So like my voice is already getting gravelly or whatever, dude.
4
and I
days.
get up on and I get up, dude, even like one day.
60 days at
like,
a time, bro.
Yeah, dude. God bless you.
Fortune and fame.
Yeah, God bless you. This is like the 3rd night or whatever, and like I was starting to get like a little like gravelly, right? So I like get up on the stage, and I'd only had like a couple beers, and I like look around, dude, and like everyone's giggling. Like looking at each other and like giggling and like
My pants are down.
I
dick
think
is
Cody at the time,
Yeah.
dude, he's like tuning his guitar and he's just like doing like the rocker thing. Like when he's like looking down, like, and I'm looking around, dude, and I'm like, everyone is so drunk right now except for me. I had to drive that night. Charlie will say that I tried to kill them, but I didn't. But anyways, yeah, Christian, we were talking about Hey Arnold or something, and Christian was like, this song is for Helga Pataki, like, fuck you or something. And then, like, the dudes, like, refused to pay us, like, after the show.
Unbelievable.
Like, some weird, I don't know what it was. I think they paid us eventually, but, like, I don't really know, dude, whatever. But it was, like, so dumb because it's, like, a cartoon character.
Yeah. And he has tattoos of
Hey Arnold, like, right on his arm.
body.
Yeah. They just,
that's crazy.
whatever.
That's
It was-
crazy.
It was a shitty show anyway.
Was that the only tour you guys did? Or no, because you were supposed to do like Snowed In, weren't you?
Oh, yeah. That's another story time.
we don't have to do that. I'm just trying to.
No, yeah. So we were supposed
I'm putting
to.
the timeline.
Yeah,
together.
no. So after that, we were supposed to go on a run down to like Fest and back with this band called Secret Stuff, but like Devin couldn't go because he was in college.
Shout out Secret Stuff. Oh, Secret Stuff is, Nashville. They are the dudes that the first house we played in Nashville, where all our friends that we
Yeah.
met there. That was
Yeah.
the lead guitarist and singer of Secret Stuff. Sorry.
Yeah, no, they were like
Devin's
really
buying
cool dudes,
shots.
and we like wanted to do it, but like also like that's like your drummer. And like we had like pretty high like expectations. Like as shitty as Devin is, like we had pretty high expectations for like our drummers, dude. We like tried to find like we hit up like Barry from like Young English. We hit up like Tom. Cute is what we aim for, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Like dude, like
Shout out
literally no one could do it. So at the time, we were with like Quiet Fire Media and like Brent was like, well, just like go do it acoustic. And we're like, dude, like
That's
we're not
different.
gonna
That's a
go do
different
it
vibe.
acoustic.
Listen,
like
I did Fest, and
yeah.
I can tell you.
Well,
right
we
now-
weren't playing Fest.
no, you were just
no. We
touring
were like
down.
on like the list.
Okay.
So like if bands backed out, but it was like 2 Fest and back. But at the pretty much basically we were like, dude, like we're not gonna go. Like Devin can't go. We can't find a suitable replacement. At one point, there was a fill-in drummer for Secret Stuff that was gonna be our fill-in drummer too. And I'm like, dude, I'm not going to the first show practicing with this dude for like 20 minutes and then just being like, let's figure it out. Like, let's go.
Well, how do you think? Like, what do you?
He
how
didn't
do you
have his own drum set.
How do you think? Oh well, that's a whole thing
Well,
in
that-
itself.
yeah,
If you
like,
don't tour
yeah.
with your own drum set, and there are people that we know,
Yeah.
musicians we know that tour without a drum set. What do you do? I'll tell you after.
Yeah.
Idiots.
John
Dumbest thing you could do
Corrick.
if you walk into a club in a different state and you're the touring band
Every
and you
night.
go,
Yeah.
hey, is it cool if I use your drums tonight?
Get the fuck out of here.
What if I say no?
I could see
Yeah.
like 1 or 2
No.
pieces.
All the time.
No,
Like
nothing.
this person
Even
that I'm thinking of
pieces?
specifically, we were on tour. They happened to be playing that show. He comes up to me. He goes, "Hey man, I'm using your drums tonight." I go, "The fuck you are?"
Yeah.
He goes, "No, well I don't tour with them." I go, start fucking touring with them. What do you think? Like,
Yeah.
fuck you. I'm on tour. You break something, it's broke.
That's wild.
Yeah, that is the craziest thing to me.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah, I could see like if
Dude,
like
drums
if, like,
are so expensive.
well, I could see like
Yeah.
if something like if I don't know if something broke and you don't have it, it's like can I borrow that specific?
I've
That's
done it.
like, yeah,
I've
that's
done it.
different, but it's different than being like, oh, I don't
have
my own
anything.
drum
Anything.
set.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's
True,
like
and
that's like
so-
with it going without your guitar too.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, oh, can I just use yours? That's fucking
And like
It's
this
just, it's
is
crazy.
like to my recollection, he did not have he wasn't their normal drummer, and he wasn't gonna tour with a drum set either. Or maybe he definitely wasn't their drummer, but maybe he had his drum set. I can't
this guy
really
from
remember
Buffalo?
What? No.
Okay.
No.
the audacity of being a fill-in drummer and.
But
not
they tried to get
taking
us to
a
do
drum
that,
set.
and we were like, no, like we're not gonna do it. And then there was like a bunch of like record label nonsense that was like going on.
Yeah.
But we were supposed to play Snowed In, but apparently
That's
like
Cleveland, right?
the dude who books that, our label at the time was supposed to hook him up with like a tour, and they didn't. So then they were like, well, fuck you. Like, we're not going to have these guys like on our show. So then they like booted us off, and like, dude, it was
Big old mess.
some
Always.
business decisions at the end that probably sank the ship a little.
I still
quicker
think you
than it
should have
should've
signed
been.
with Craig Owens.
Craig
On that
Owens,
note,
yeah.
we appreciate
It's
you
the
being
biggest
here.
mistake ever.
We appreciate you coming
Do you
through
have
and
any-
sharing some stories.
Yeah.
We'll have you
you-
back through again.
Yeah,
please.
dude.
Do you have anything you want to plug? Soccer, Bangarang.
No, dude.
You don't want
you're
people
not
to come
doing
to
too
that?
hot, dog.
Well, you can watch Cullen Shotgun Beers on Twitter
Yep.
at Dead Richard, and you can catch me doing shows. Max Kazor on everything. Gonna be doing shows in Buffalo around July, August 6th. August 6th. There we are. I'm in Haverhill, Massachusetts.
Oh.
Ooh. And I'll probably be doing some other stuff in Boston. August 2nd, Buffalo's Funniest Person semifinal round, if this comes out before that.
Right.
Yeah, like and subscribe at Storytime Pod across all platforms. If you haven't yet, go ahead and give the Genesee Hotel record a spin. And yeah, thanks for checking it out.
Listen to World Cup Things on Spotify.
Go
Bye.
Bills.
Go Bills.